Hello, everybody. I am yet again Bryce McKinney, simply put, and as always, I want to thank you for tuning in and listening. So, I'm jumping the gun. There was a couple of other topics I actually wanted to talk about first. However, I've got to get into this one and address it because it's now a common conversation. So many of you have heard, that Scottie Pippen's wife has claimed half of his retirement. Okay, so I've got to. I'm having flashbacks, man. This is rough. So this is primarily to women. I did a video a while back, a few months ago, talking about understanding the times. We're no longer in the day where, the man, brings home the bacon, the wife fries it up in the pan. We're not in that day anymore. Now, it's most households have two incomes, and that is what it is. However, when a man, in this particular case, Scottie Pippen, this man is, he's an NBA star, champion, the whole shebang. So, him having to cough up half of his retirement, here's the problem with that. Now, let me say this. If it was a business that they had built together, that's a whole different animal. But it was his talents, his abilities on the court. She was not on the court. And I'm giving you the male perspective. You can agree to disagree. I'm totally okay with that. But it wasn't her that scored baskets. It wasn't her that, got assists and steals and, played defense, played offense, had to go to practice, put the work in and grind and sweat and hurt, played through pain. It wasn't her that did that. It was him. So understand this clearly, and don't take it out of context, but a man is his money. Now, that doesn't mean that money is, his whole existence. But for a man, that's how he provides, is by making money. And when you take that away from him, you put him in a bad position. Especially when you do it through a divorce. And again, say it again, so there's no misunderstanding. I'm not saying, if this is something that, the two of them had actually built together, but this was his work. This is what he did. This is how he lived. I remember distinctly, so my job is extremely physically demanding. It does take brain work, but it's more physical. I work with my hands, my body. It hurts every day. There's not a day that something is not hurting. You just get to the point where you deal with it. Pain is a part of it. And I remember going through my first divorce, and there was the option to get half of my 401k. So, thank God it didn't happen, but that was an option. Now, granted, had it happened, I was already irritated and pissy. There's nothing about a divorce that's peaceful. Don't ever get that twisted. But her being able to take half of what I had built up and accumulated. Now, granted, at that time it wasn't much because I had just started. However, at that time, especially because I was new to the job, it was just, I'd just been there, a couple of years or so, was still learning how to do what I do, and all of that. And I was hurting more then than I am now because, it's body contortions and movements and muscles that you have to use that you never have in your life. So, me having to clock in, I was working third shift, all of the above, and for somebody else to have a right to that was appeal. That was appeal. So here's what I need you to understand. Men now look at marriage differently, and here's the difference. What is in it for him? Right? Because if he gets divorced and she decides, okay, I'm going to take him to court, most women, not all, but most of them, the mindset is, I'm going to take him to the cleaners. I'm going to make him pay for letting me go. I'm going to make him pay for leaving me. Even if it wasn't based on cheating or anything like that, it happens more often than not. So most men look at marriage, okay, what is this going to cost me if it goes south? In addition to child support, she could take the kids, she could take half of his earnings, half of what he's got, and ride off into the sunset. So she gains, he loses. So he's counting the cost of this, and this is why now most men do not get married. You wonder why a lot of men are with females and they've been with them for years. People keep asking them, well, when are y'all gonna get married? Especially if they got kids already. He's counting the cost. Don't get it twisted. It's not that he doesn't love her. It's not that he doesn't want to be with her. We just understand now, this might cost me in the long run. What am I going to lose? If something goes down the pipes and she decides, okay, hey, I can't do this anymore for whatever reason. Again, more often than not, he's the one that's going to have to suffer. She can take the kids, she can take his money. She can take, if he's got a business, whatever he does for work, she can get it. In most cases, that's what happens. So it's not rocket science. So men are now a lot more guarded and protective of themselves because it's not a win-win for them. It's not a win-win. I would love to be married again. I'm wired for this. However, I've got 2 divorces. So, number one, the common denominator is me. I've got to fix me and work on me. So, if I choose to get married again, history does not repeat itself. You follow what I'm saying? So, that's number one. And number two, I've got to have somebody, and this is the big one for me. I'm speaking for myself. I've got to have somebody, once that time comes, that is a partner for me. I got to know 100% that she's my ride or die, that she's got my back. She's not going to, if something goes down the pipes, she's not going to pull away and say, you know what, I'm going to get a divorce and I'm going to get this, 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 and this. That cannot be the primary objective for her. And how will I know that? Time. I've made the mistake in years past of diving into relationships head first, blinded by what I feel and blinded by love. Love is not enough to keep a marriage together, a relationship or marriage together. Please understand that. But I got divorced both times. It wasn't because I didn't love either one of my wives. It's just at the end of the day, there were major communication issues. I know that now, so that's why I'm working on me and understanding how to communicate, because my communication was withdraw, shut down. Yeah, it's a form of communication, but please, it don't work. So in the bigger scope of things, the bigger picture is, for most men, we how much are we going to lose? What are we going to lose? In addition to who are we going to lose? Including ourselves. So I just wanted to share that again. This kind of set me up for my next one, which I'm going to talk about. I've talked about accountability, but my next one is going to be just get yourself together. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So again, I'm Price McKinney, Simply Put. I want to thank you for listening. I'm a firm believer in maximizing my time. I'm driving, so this is a great time for me. Being in my car is a think tank, so this is a great time for me to do this. Follow me on Facebook, Price McKinney. Simply Put with Price McKinney. On Instagram, Simply Put Price McKinney, of course. I'm on Facebook as well. And follow me if you're not already. And most importantly, go to YouTube and subscribe to my page there. Guess what it is? It ain't rocket science. Price McKinney, Simply Put. So I'm not an expert. I just know what I know. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for listening. And I promise you, I'll see you soon.